Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sally Aaron. I'm the marketing director for Solazyme's microalgae food ingredient business. Thank you so much for your patience this morning. This is Cooking Up Science. I am very pleased to introduce you to some of the folks who are going to be helping us out today. We have quite a crew here. Starting off, we have Chef Caroline. Chef Caroline, Solazyme is based in South San Francisco, and Chef Caroline has an organization called the City Kitchen, and we've been working with Caroline for about the last year. Caroline teaches cooking, does catering, has a degree from the French Culinary Institute, but what she really has is a great curiosity about new ingredients. And so Caroline has been working with Solazyme's microalgae food ingredients over the last year. And so we're going to share with you today some of the recipes that she's come up with that uses our ingredients. We are also joined by Alex. Alex is our sous chef who is going to be helping us out today as well. And then over here to my right is Beata Klamczynska, who directs applications for Solazyme. Beata is one of the world experts in terms of formulating with microalgae food ingredients. So Beata is going to be helping us with any questions that you might have that go deep and technical, and that's fine too. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me introduce the ingredients that we're going to talk about first today. So Solazyme has two products that we sell. We have our Algavia whole algae ingredients. We have our high lipid powder that we call whole algal flour, and that is basically a whole dried microalgae cell. It's about 50% oil, but it also has fiber and starch and protein. We're going to show you how that works today to help reduce dairy fats. You can also take out egg yolks. You can reduce oils. So Chef Caroline's going to have some examples of that today. We are also going to be highlighting our whole algal protein, which is a new vegan source of protein. These are, again, dried microalgae cells. We grow them through a fermentation process. The whole algal protein is about 60% protein with also about 15% fiber in it. So we're also going to show you some demonstrations with that today. So why don't we kick off?
Okay, so we're starting on this side. We are making a kind of classic pairing, which is a creamy tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich. And the nice thing about this is it's kind of indulgent. Creamy tomato soup is usually, when we cater, we make ours with butter and heavy whipping cream. And in this case, we were able to remove all of the dairy fat. And so you're getting this really delicious, indulgent creamy tomato soup, but it has, basically what we're using instead is the lipid powder, the whole algal flour. And so that the product ends up giving you the same creamy mouthfeel. It happens to be vegan because we've removed all of the dairy fat, which is really nice. We're actually also adding a little bit of the whole algal protein into the soup, and we do that for a number of reasons. One, it actually has a little bit of a savory quality, and so we think that adds a little bit to the soup. We also know that people are really interested in having additional protein in their food right now. And again, if you were vegan, and you often do have a hard time getting additional protein, this is a nice way to get it. So, and then the grilled cheese that we're making is made with a challah bread that's eggless, and that's crazy because normally you would never make a challah bread without eggs, and it has that same kind of eggy flavor. And then we've got a low-fat cheese where we were able to reduce the fat by 25%, and that was also made with a whole algal flour. So I'm going to start here. We've got a saute pan where we've caramelized some onions and garlic and a little bit of oil. And so I'm now going to add, this is your whole algal flour, and then this is the protein. So I'm going to add these both, and we're going to stir this around so that it gets really nice and creamy. The nice thing about this is that, to be honest, when we were making this the other day, we just took the flour and protein and put it directly into the blender and then put the soup in there and blended it together. You don't necessarily have to cook it. It's not something, it doesn't make a difference flavor-wise or texture-wise, but we just wanted to show you, if we mix all of this together, how it ends up kind of looking like this very kind of buttery, creamy mixture. So now what we're going to do is...
Sorry, Caroline, can I jump in for a second? Because a lot of people always wonder, when you think about microalgae, you might think of something that might be green, but you'll notice that these ingredients have a really lovely yellow color. And that's because the microalgae, when you grow them through the fermentation process, they actually produce a lot of lutein and zeaxanthin. So that's what the beautiful yellow color comes from. So not only are there macronutrients in these ingredients, but there's also these really nice micronutrients that have additional health benefits as well, such as lutein for eye health.
Okay, so now you're going to see that we have it looks like a very kind of buttery, creamy base for our soup. Now we're going to add, these are San Marzano tomatoes. If you're making a tomato soup, it's important to have a really nice high acidity tomato, especially if you're making a creamy tomato soup. So you want to balance the cream with the acid. So these are awesome. They come from the Naples region. And so we're going to add, these are just diced San Marzano tomatoes that we're adding. I added a little bit of water earlier. That's what you saw. And then I'm just going to throw in a little kosher salt and some black pepper. And so this is basically our soup. The nice thing about this is you'll also notice we made it in about 5 minutes. It doesn't take very long. So now that I've got this mixture, I'm going to start ladling it into the blender, and we're going to blend it. Actually, Alex, can I have you come? Will you do me a favor and ladle this for us so we can start talking about the grilled cheese? So Alex is going to just put all this soup mixture into the blender, and we're going to blend it on high, and you're going to end up with this really beautiful kind of rose-colored creamy tomato soup. In the meantime, we're now going to start, so we've got some grilled cheese that we've already grilled, and then some we wanted to show you. We wanted you to see the kind of lovely texture of the bread. And so the nice thing is it grills like any other bread. It gets really crispy on the outside. I happen to really love American cheese, grilled cheese. It's one of my favorites. And so anyway, we've actually brushed the outside with a little bit of butter, and then I'm just going to flip these over. And so what we're going to do is transfer the soup to little soup cups, and then we're going to serve your little square of grilled cheese right inside it.
So one of the themes that we're showing you here today, and one of the real powers of the high lipid powder, is that it really does a great job of getting you to a healthier, indulgent product. So what we're showing you today is just this really great, indulgent meal that you can have that actually has 25% reduced fat. You get 100% reduction in your cholesterol in the bread, in the challah bread. So, and the soup also has a 25% reduction in fat as well with the removal of the cream.
And the nice thing too is when you're looking at this American cheese, you're going to see that it's just like really beautiful, stringy, gooey American cheese, which is what you want. And I think the hard part with low-fat products sometimes is that you don't end up with what you're used to. And so it's nice to know that you still, it'll kind of goo and string apart, which is exactly what you want. So.
Yeah, and the whole alga flour works particularly well in baked goods, so you can use it in the breads as you see today. You can also use it in, we have some really wonderful cake recipes. I think you have a cake recipe that you've worked on.
Yeah, so we started with, we have a really great lemon pound cake recipe that we make for our catering, and we traditionally make it with 2 sticks of butter. And so when we started playing around with the whole algal flour, we realized that it can be a dairy fat replacement. And so I thought, well, maybe if I take out 50% of the butter, 1 stick, what's going to happen? We were actually able to remove, we were able to remove a stick of butter, and then we were actually able to remove all of the egg yolks as well. So we used the egg whites, and then we used the whole algal flour to replace both the egg yolks and 50% of the butter. And it has been the most awesome product. People love it. And if you tasted side by side the traditional lemon pound cake versus the lemon pound cake with these ingredients in it, you would literally not know the difference. But the calories, cholesterol, saturated fat have all been dramatically reduced, which is really very cool.
Yeah. Are we ready to do the blending?
Yeah.
Yep. We are ready.
Nope. There you go. Oh, you got to turn it on. Or not. It's not on. Well.
Technical issues.
We will, I know. There you go. Try it.
There we go.
Very nice.
Hooray. It wouldn't be a presentation without some kind of technical issue. So we're good. So
right.
What we have going on right now is in the background, we've been madly preparing some of the tomato soup for you. So in just a minute, we're going to start sampling it so you guys can actually taste the tomato soup and the grilled cheese. So while we're doing that, I think we're ready to move on to our oils, right?
Yep, I think we're ready.
Okay. So you'll be able to taste that in a second. We'll talk about that. We'd love to hear your feedback as we pass those out to you. Now we're going to do the second part of our demonstration, which is using our oils. So we also sell our AlgaWise algae oils. We have 2 products that we're highlighting today. We have our high stability algae oil. The real benefit of that is that it's very high in monounsaturates, but it has the lowest level of polyunsaturates of any oil that you can get. And it's less than 2%. So what that gives you is a really delicious, clean tasting oil that is incredibly stable when you use it. So we're going to be demonstrating that in a fried application today. We are also going to be highlighting our Ultra Omega-9 oil, and that has the highest level of monounsaturates of any oil that you can get and the lowest level of saturated fat. And we're going to show that to you in an Asian dipping sauce. Should we get started?
Yep. So oops, sorry.
Oh, and you can see, you don't see it, but back here we have a riser, so suddenly Caroline and I are going to be really tall.
Which we wish would happen all the time.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to start by showing you the dipping sauce that you guys are going to taste when you with your tempura. So this is a mayonnaise that's been made with the ultra omega-9 oil. So if we were making this for a catering event, we would use store-bought mayonnaise, which is traditionally made with soybean oil. And so in this instance, we are using the alga-wise, mayonnaise. And so you get the same mayonnaise product, but with a much healthier profile. The other nice thing about it is the oil is very neutral in flavor, so it's really great for marinades and salad dressings, especially when you're using things with Asian flavors. So basically, I've got the mayonnaise base here. This is some ginger and some garlic that I'm going to whisk into it. And then I'm going to add, these are some chopped green onions. And because the tempura is gluten-free, we wanted to make this dipping sauce gluten-free as well. So this is a mixture of agave tamari, which is a gluten-free soy sauce base, and then also a little bit of sesame oil. And the agave just adds a little hint of sweetness. And then this is kosher salt and a little togarashi, which is a Japanese spice blend that gives it a little bit of heat. It also has a little bit of, it has black sesame seeds, a little bit of seaweed, and some tangerine peel. So this gives it a really nice flavor.
So one of the things too, I know we're not doing a high heat demonstration with the Ultra Omega 9, but it has a really high smoke point as well. And
it does, which is awesome. So if you're pan searing chicken or anything, or steak or anything where you want to get your pan really hot, olive oil has a very low smoke point. That's why you guys, when you've cooked before, everybody has probably burned their olive oil in the pan while they're cooking. And then if you notice, canola oil will have a higher smoke point. Having a 495 smoke point is very high, so it's much less likely that you're going to end up burning your oils when you're sautéing something. And so that's I think a huge bonus. So our dipping sauce is ready. So now we've got the high stability oil, and this is really hot also. The nice thing is this oil can get very hot. Normally deep frying you would use a peanut oil or a canola oil, and so this is a much healthier way to fry. So I've got some green beans that we've cut into pieces and our tempura batter mixture, and I'm just going to start dropping these in our mixture.
And for anyone who's interested, we've created this demonstration to be entirely gluten-free. Mm-hmm. So this is a gluten-free batter as well, correct?
Yeah, so and actually tempura is often gluten-free. This is made with cornstarch. It actually also does have a little bit of gluten-free flour in it, and then it has a little bit of baking soda and some rice flour. And luckily, because the oil is so hot, which is really nice, you don't want to cook your green beans very long because you want them to be really crispy on the inside and crispy on the outside. So they don't need to cook for more than about a minute. And the nice thing is we can get this oil very hot when we're frying, so you still get that really crispy tempura on the outside. Thanks, Alex.
So one of the things that we were talking about earlier is your experience with a lot of oils when you're using them in a cooking setting, the cleanness that you get from using our high stability oil.
Yes. No. So the high stability oil has been great. We've deep fried. We've made potato chips with it. We've made, tons of things. And so again, having the ability to have a healthy frying oil, that's not very. It's unusual. So we've been really excited about playing around with it, and we've made it, yeah.
Yeah, one of the really nice things about the high stability oil is that when you use it, because of the low level of polyunsaturates, you get a lot less polymerization, a lot less gunk that shows up in your fryer. So, from a fry life standpoint, there's, fewer oil changes that need to happen, really terrific benefits in terms of being able to use an oil that helps you have a much cleaner frying situation.
That's true. If you are a restaurant owner and you were using this oil, you would be happy because you'd actually have to purchase less oil and you'd have to change your fryer less. Usually when you have a big, like a fry station, eventually what will happen is you'll get a rim around your fryer and you have to change your oil, and those are the polyunsaturated fats that end up clogging your fryer.
This happened to me yesterday too.
Wait a second. Can you pull a bowl out so I can dump this extra stuff in a bowl? Thank you. But yeah, so what we were saying is if your oil is very low in polyunsaturated fat, which this is, you're going to end up with a cleaner oil. You're going to have to use less of it and change it less often. So again, as a restaurateur, that's something that would be really a huge added benefit on top of the fact that it's healthier.
Yeah. So one of the things also I think that everyone's aware of is that there's such a conversation that's happening right now about around healthier fats. Wonderful. Everybody's getting a chance to taste this. And so it's one of the really terrific things is that our oils are very high in monounsaturated fats. And so when people are talking about fats, the conversation today is, oh, maybe saturated fats, we do want to have those. But, and all the nutritionists that we've been speaking to, they are telling us, well, we're telling people to get it from more natural sources. So get your saturated fat from your meats, from your dairy products. But really, if we can work to get the saturated fats out of processed foods, that would just be a huge win. And so that's one of the really great benefits of using these oils is getting those really nice monounsaturates into products and helping to reduce some of the saturated fat.
Okay, so these are almost done. So you guys are probably excited to taste some of these products.
So one of the great things about this that I hope you'll take away when you taste this is that, the question we always get is, what do these algae oils taste like? And they just have such a wonderful neutral taste. And so the real benefit of that is that it really lets the flavors shine through. So a lot of people who have been cooking with it, sauteing vegetables, grilling or sauteing or cooking meats, you actually taste the flavor of the product versus the flavor of the oil. And that's been really nice to see those flavors shine through.
Yeah, and I think the same thing with the salad dressings and marinades. It's nice to have a really healthy oil where you can, it's not, it's one thing, if you want to add olive oil for flavor, that's great, but otherwise, it's oftentimes you don't. If you're making, Asian food or Southern food or whatever, those are not flavor profiles that you want in your food, and so it's really nice to have an option that's healthy and that's neutral in flavor. All right, I think we're almost done here.
That's great. So while we're prepping that, we have done excellent on our time, Caroline. So this is the presentation of our demonstration. We'll be bringing those out for you to sample in just a minute. But while we're waiting and getting ready to send those out, would love to open it up for questions that anyone might have. I know there's got to be one out there. Yes?
I think this is kind of gross, that one.
I can kind of hear you. Go ahead. Yeah. Sure. Do you want to take that one, Beata?
So we actually formulated a mayonnaise with the algal flour. So the mayonnaise that was used here actually doesn't have algal flour, only has our oil, but we can also use the algal flour to make mayo. And in terms of emulsion, we used it in a low-fat mayonnaise, and we didn't see any issues with emulsion. It actually helps create a very nice viscosity and mouthfeel to the mayo. And shelf life, it's very stable, similarly to other oils, because the algal flour also, the fat portion of it has very high level of monounsaturated fatty acids.
The fat profile of the oil component of the whole algal flour is really similar to olive oil in terms of what that looks like. Do you want to talk a little bit, Beata, around the oil that you made with the the mayonnaise that you made with the high stability oil? Because there's some benefits you see in that as well.
So actually, that's a good point. We try to make a full-fat mayonnaise, replacing the soybean oil that, as you know, is really high in polyunsaturated fatty acids. And it requires use of EDTA to extend the shelf life of it from oxidation standpoint. So we used our oil in this application, and in hopes that the stability of our oil will help improve the stability of the mayonnaise. And what we also found that the emulsion was actually better. And we found that we did some testing in elevated temperature where the regular mayonnaise, the emulsion broke, but the emulsion made with our fat was actually more stable.
So any reactions, responses, or what do you think of the products you're tasting? Good? Yeah. Question? Yeah. Yeah, so off the top of my head, the Ultra Omega 9 has about 65% more monounsaturated fats than olive oil. So we're for these two oils, they are incredibly high in monounsaturates. So I don't have the exact number, but I know we have the number at our booth if you want to come by and get those exact fatty acid profiles. Because I don't want to miss. Do you know?
Yeah, so it's above 90% of oleic acid and about 4% saturated palmitic, and maybe 3 to 4. So it's olive oil has actually almost over 10% saturated fat, and our oil has less than 4.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great question. So the question was, how would the products be labeled? So for the, I just want to clarify. So we've been kind of going back and forth between calling it, our product lipid powder and whole algal flour. The product would be labeled as whole algal flour, and that is our high lipid powder. We also have a whole algal protein, and that would be labeled as whole algal protein. We have some customers who have labeled it just algal protein, but there are a lot of consumers who like that concept of whole from just a more kind of natural whole product standpoint. And then both of our oils would be labeled as algae oil, or you could also label them as algal oil. So we've been having a lot of, the other question that I often get is, well, what about consumers? Are consumers really ready for products from microalgae? So we, at Solazyme, we've spent a lot of time actually like having focus groups with consumers, talking to them. We have a consumer products group that's actually getting ready to launch some consumer products that are based on microalgae. And generally, consumers don't really know that much about algae-based ingredients. There is a little bit of familiarity that's starting in the marketplace based on some of the algal DHA that's in the market right now, but generally consumers don't know a lot about it. What they do think is generally pretty positive. There's usually some really good health associations with it. And when we do comparisons on purchase intent, how likely would you be to purchase a product that's made with algae oil? We see just an incredible bump once we just give people a little bit of information on the benefits. I mean, it's pretty good without it, but you literally get top 2 box purchase intent that goes from like 23% up to 60%. From a top 2 box, like, yes, I would really like to buy these products. So for us, it's a good baseline. It's generally a neutral baseline with algae ingredients, and then when you actually explain the health and taste benefits, people get really excited about it, and that purchase intent goes even further. So from our standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, we know that we need to be out there talking about these ingredients, getting people excited about algae-based ingredients. So from Solazyme's side, we have a whole program in place to really start that conversation with consumers and get them excited about it as an ingredient.
And I think the brownies, if people want to sample a product that has...
Yeah. So I would encourage you, I know you've had a chance to try this today. There's actually a product on the market now that's using our whole algal protein that we're actually going to be sampling at our booth labeled today. Enjoy Life Foods has a new brownie mix that they have launched, that just launched in June. And we'll be sampling those over at our booth, 4741, if you'd like to come and taste those later today. So I think are there any more questions?
Oh, about the Fitbit. Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, well, I want to thank everyone. So we do have a few more samples that are coming out, but I want to thank you so much. I would encourage you, if you have any questions, we'll stick around here, or please come to our booth, 4741. You can actually taste the ingredients. And, do we have that? Oh, we are doing it? Oh, okay. We have some Fitbits, actually. So we have 2 Fitbits we're giving away for those who put their cards in here. Okay, I will close my eyes, and I will pick one, and then I will pick, one more. Okay, so we have Wendy Robrecht. Yay, you can come up and get your Fitbit, and Tim Bush. Is Tim here? No, Tim? Oh, one more. Another lucky person. Betsy Blades. Oh, Oh, was that you, Tim? Oh, you are? Oh, okay, good. Oh, perfect. Okay, wonderful. We'll get those back in just a minute. Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I appreciate your time and attention.